ダニエル・カールの英語日本昔話始まり彦一話天狗の隠れ蓑。 Once upon a time in Higo province, a mischievous young man named Hikoichi lived in the town of Yatsushiro. One day, while walking through the town, Hikoichi heard a rumor. They say that deep within that mountain there lives a tengu that possesses a magic cloak. If you put on the cloak, you will become invisible. That's amazing. I wonder if there is any way to get my hands on that. Hikoichi thought and thought until he finally came up with a way he could obtain the magic cloak. He cut a stalk of bamboo, scooped out the inside, and created a slender bamboo pipe. "All right, this should do it," he said. With bamboo pipe in hand, Hikoichi set off for the mountain where the tengu was rumored to live, and climbed to the very top. Looking around, he could see from the foot of the mountain all the way to the ocean in the distance. "All right, somewhere right around here should be a good spot," he said, and pulled out the bamboo pipe. "Wow, I can see really well. Really well," Hikoichi called out in a loud voice, looking through the bamboo pipe. "Oh my, there is a big fire in Kyoto. That's no good. And what is this? Satsuma is going to war? I can see it so clearly. Really clearly." Hikoichi looked to the east, looked to the west, and continued to put on a big show when he heard the flapping of wings and a ruffle of leaves as something landed on the tall tree next to him. "All right, here it is," he thought to himself. But he pretended not to notice the sounds coming from the tree and continued to yell loudly. "Wow, I can see a sumo tournament in Edo. The East has won and the West has lost. Ah, but now the West has won and the East has lost. How very exciting." Suddenly, the creature that had flown into the tree began to climb down. It had a red face, a long nose, and large wings. This creature was, without a doubt, the rumored tengu. But Hikoichi continued to ignore it. "Oh ho! The East has won and the West has lost. Keep fighting! You can do it! Ah, this is so much fun!" Hikoichi, pretending to be engrossed in what was happening far across the land, stole a quick glance at the tengu. It too was squinting out into the distance. A filthy cloak was draped over its hand. Yes, that must be the magic cloak," Hikoichi thought. "Oh, there is a fire in Kyoto, a war in Satsuma, a sumo tournament in Edo. Wow, I can see it all really well." The tengu, growing more impatient, finally gave in and turned to Hikoichi. "Hey, mister! What is that you are holding?" it asked. "Huh? What? I'm kind of in the middle of something." "Like I said, what is that you're holding?" "Oh, this? This is called the Sendi Toshi. With it, you can see anything 1,000 miles away, and you can see really well. Oh, this time, Osaka is—" "Hey, let me look through it for a minute." "No way! This is my most prized possession. I could not let anyone else hold it." Hikoichi hid the bamboo pipe behind his back and pretended to make a run for it. The Tengu hurriedly said, "How about I let you try on my cloak? We could trade for a minute." "I've got it," Hikoichi thought to himself, but still he refused. "No way! I could not trade my treasure for some useless old cloak." "What do you mean, useless? This cloak will conceal whoever wears it from the gaze of others. Have you never heard of the Tengu's invisibility cloak?" Hikoichi's heart pounded in anticipation. "All right, fine. You can look through it, but just for a minute." "Really? Great! Then you can try on my cloak for a minute too." Hikoichi accepted the cloak and quickly wrapped it around himself. He disappeared in an instant. The Tengu stared through the bamboo pipe with all his might. He looked left. He looked right. "Something's not right. I can't see anything." "Hey, mister, I can't see anything. What do I have to do to be able to see?" The Tengu turned to face Hikoichi, but he was nowhere to be found. Hikoichi had quickly started climbing back down the mountain, still wearing the invisibility cloak. "That sneaky Hikoichi tricked me!" The Tengu snarled and grit his teeth in anger, but there was nothing he could do. Hikoichi made his way back to Yatsushiro town, still covered by the cloak. The town square was bustling with people. "I wonder if people really cannot see me. I should test it out, just to be sure," he said under his breath. Hikoichi found a gathering of people and pinched the nose of a person standing in the crowd. "Who is that? Who just pinched my nose?" the man yelled out. Hikoichi moved to the next person in the crowd and pinched his nose too. "What was that? You just pinched my nose, didn't you?" "What are you playing at? You pinched my nose first," the first man roared, and the two broke out into a fight. Hikoichi sniggered behind the cloak. "Ha! They really cannot see me. With this cloak, I can do anything." He pulled the ears and pinched the cheeks of unsuspecting townspeople, creating a big scene around town. Hikoichi couldn't get enough. After thoroughly teasing the townspeople, Hikoichi returned home in high spirits. "I'll go somewhere else tomorrow and play pranks on all of them as well. But I cannot let anyone find the cloak. I should hide it somewhere," Hikoichi said to himself, and hid the cloak in a corner of the storage shed. Hikoichi continued to play pranks on the townspeople while wearing the invisibility cloak. Every day, he would go to the grocery or the fish market to mess with the storefront displays. He made oranges suddenly fly out into the street one by one, made sardines appear to be floating in midair, made umbrellas soar up into the sky, and spent the day laughing at his tricks on the confounded townspeople. Hikoichi couldn't get enough. Until one fateful day. Hikoichi's mother went to go clean the storage shed when she found an old cloak she had never seen before shoved into a corner. "What is this dirty thing doing in here?" she said, pulling the cloak out into the light. It goes without saying that she had no idea that it was the Tengu's invisibility cloak. "This thing is filthy. The only thing left to do is to burn it, Hikoichi's mother said, and she threw the invisibility cloak onto a pile of burning garbage. It melted into an oily puddle in an instant. The next day, Hikoichi went to fetch the cloak, itching to play more pranks on the unsuspecting townspeople. But the cloak was nowhere to be found. He searched every nook and cranny of the storage shed before finally asking his mother, "Hey, Mama, do you know what happened to the old cloak that was in here?" "Oh, that dirty old thing? I burned it," she replied. Hikoichi bolted toward the fire pit. "Oh no! It has completely turned to ash! It's all over," he cried. Sobbing, Hikoichi began to gather up the ashes from the fire with both hands, when all of a sudden, "Wow! My hands! I can't see my hands!" he exclaimed. The tips of his fingers had disappeared after scooping up the ashes. That's it! Just because the cloak has become ash doesn't mean it has lost its power. Hikoichi scooped up every last bit of ash, added water to turn it into a clay, and rubbed it all over his body. "I'm disappearing! I'm disappearing! This will do perfectly!" Hikoichi promptly headed out into town, covered in clay. He stopped at the liquor store, which had a large sake barrel on display out front. "All right, this is my chance. I think I'll help myself to a drink," Hikoichi said as he pulled the plug from the barrel and began to gulp down the sake. But as he guzzled down the drink, the clay around his mouth began to wash off. It looked as if there was a disembodied mouth drinking all the sake. The shop owner was scared out of his wits. "What is this? A ghost mouth is stealing my sake!" "Oh no!" Hikoichi thought to himself, finally realizing that the clay had been washed off. He quickly made a break for it. "Wait! Stop right there, you sake-thieving ghost mouth! Somebody stop it!" The liquor store owner pushed through the crowds of people, finally catching up to the disembodied mouth. Hikoichi ran as fast as he could, his sweat making tracks in the clay on his skin. "It's a ghost! Grab it!" The harder Hikoichi ran, the more he sweat, and the more the clay washed off his body. First his hand reappeared, then his foot, and eventually Hikoichi himself reappeared. "It's Hikoichi! That mischievous Hikoichi! Somebody grab him! Somebody grab him!" The liquor store owner called out, and all of the townspeople began to chase Hikoichi. "You trickster! All of the strange things that have happened recently, they were all your doing!" The townspeople punished Hikoichi severely until he begged for forgiveness. "Please, please forgive me! I swear I will never play a trick on anyone ever again!" Hikoichi pleaded and pleaded, and finally the townspeople forgave him. The end.
Daniel のワンポイントレッスン。
天狗の隠れ蓑のポイント。今回のポイントは、彦一がまたいたずらしようと蓑を取りに行く場面で出てくる itching to という表現の意味についてだ。itching to play more pranks、 いたずらをしたくてたまらないというような意味になるわけなんですね。ここではですね、何かをしたくてたまらないという表現で使われてるんだ。どうですかね？わかったかな？それではまたね。さよなら。